Fatal Fury City of the Wolves came out about a month ago, and the more I play it, the more I love it. My channel is all about chasing the thrill of a fight in fighting games, and Fatal Fury City of the Wolves gives me that feeling on the same level as some of the best fighting games I've ever played, at least when you're inside of a match. Fatal Fury might be missing something outside of a match, though. So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a list of features, 7 features that I think Fatal Fury desperately needs. Let's talk about it.
Fatal Fury City of the Wolves.
What is good, fellow gamers? This is Jester JE here to let you know it's gaming time. My channel's usually about 3 things: getting better at fighting games, making new friends, and chasing the thrill of the fight. And today, we're doing something just a little bit different. We're going to talk about 7 features outside of gameplay that I think Fatal Fury City of the Wolves desperately needs. Before I start sharing some of those ideas, first, let me just say hi. My name's Jester JE. Let me welcome everybody to the video. I'm a fighting game content creator, and I love fighting games. I post videos and content to YouTube and TikTok, and I film all that content live here on Twitch. So make sure to like, subscribe, or follow me in all those places so you don't miss a thing. And let me just also say that I really like this game. I think it's awesome. I just think it's missing a few features. Today we are not going to be talking about anything gameplay-wise. Like, some people have a love-hate relationship with Rev Blow. It's a powerful tool, but I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about the robust footsies that are in this game. We're not really talking about gameplay. And last but not least, folks, before we jump into it, I know that you probably have some pretty good ideas on what you think Fatal Fury needs, maybe outside of a match, or features that this game needs. I want you to let me know in the comments. What did I get wrong? What did I get right? What ideas do you have that could really help out Fatal Fury become one of the greatest fighting games ever? All right. Without further ado, let's cut to our first feature. All right, folks. I think the one of the biggest things that this game needs has to do with the color edit feature of this game. Now, color edit is really cool. You can go in here and you can change each individual thing or part of people's costumes that are already in the game. You can make it your own, which is awesome. And I'm seeing a lot of different really good ideas. I think I was watching a tournament. I can't remember if it was TNS or a different online tournament. Someone was a Terry Bogard that named themselves Famfi, like the Pokemon, and their color palette was all like Famfi, the Pokemon, which is really cool. Let's see, I've seen like a Rock Howard as Trunks. I've seen a from Dragon Ball Z. I've seen a Rock Howard as Kyo from King of Fighters, who's the main character of King of Fighters. And I've also seen, Marco Rodriguez dressed up as, with the same color palettes as Mr. Satan from Dragon Ball Z, and it's really cool. There's a lot of creativity going around, and the color palettes are... Yeah, but it's just like a really fun thing that you don't see too much in too many other fighting games. And I think one thing that we could add here to make it better is the ability to share a recipe. Yeah, the first thing I would add to Fatal Fury is I would go in and I would share this recipe. So one thing that like you can do here is you can pull up and you can save or load a color palette that you've already made. Like I've made Ash Ketchum. Down that road, I made Pikachu. Okay, we've got a Pikachu-themed Terry Bogard. We got Ash Ketchum. This is a Terry Bogard that's like I play on Xbox, so I made him like an Xbox-themed Terry Bogard, and I'm having a lot of fun with this. It would be cool where I could share these recipes with other people. The best way to do it right now is to get a screen capture of this so people can see what colors you've dialed in. But that's, I don't know. I don't know if that's the best way to do it. I feel like there should be a code. If you type in that code, you should be able to get that color palette from your friend or from, I don't know, a Facebook group or the Discord. There should be an easier way to share some of these color palettes. All right, folks. The second thing I want added to Fatal Fury City of the Wolves actually has to do with the gallery. Let's jump in here. Let's just go to artwork. Now, I'm a fan of artwork that you can unlock in fighting games, and this game does have a lot. Let's see, the character, there's a lot of different things you can kind of go and highlight it. It tells you kind of like what you should be doing in order to unlock these things, which is pretty cool. But let's see. Let's go to a character that I've got. Yeah, so we've got Terry Bogard right here. I played through his arcade mode. And it's really cool. And at least how I'm playing this fighting game is Terry Bogard's kind of the character I like. I don't really feel an interest to try other characters. And this game does have a lot of lore built in, so I kind of want other ways to unlock the artwork from other characters. I'm probably not, like, I don't have enough time right now in my day and in my life to like get as good at playing Terry Bogard. Like, I don't really see myself trying out other characters right now, just because I think, like, if I'm hopping on Fatal Fury, I'm probably going to be hitting the training mode. I'm probably going to be jumping into ranked matches or getting casual matches with my friends. I think there should be a system where I can, like, get experience from playing as Terry Bogard. Maybe in ranked matches, getting some sort of experience that I can, like, later come into this and be like, oh, this is worth 10 experience points. It doesn't really matter how you got it, but I can learn kind of like what happens with Rock Howard. I can unlock this panel of art. If I have those 10 experience points, I can spend them here. I think a game that actually did this pretty well was, or I kind of did something like this, was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. You could play through, you could kind of unlock different hammers, and then you could kind of unlock other things. You didn't have to go in a certain order. You could kind of play whichever heroes you wanted and still unlock these things. And I think it'd be cool to add something like that here, because honestly, I'm interested in the lore. But I want to be able to unlock. I want to see what happens with Hokutomaro. I want to see what happens with Gato. He has like a kind of really interesting backstory, but I really don't see myself jumping into his arcade mode and unlocking this art. I don't see myself going into episodes of Southtown and unlocking like figuring out what's happening with Gato there, just because like I really enjoy playing online. That's what I'm probably going to do, and I want to be able to access this art somehow. So yeah, that's thing number 2, a different way to unlock art, where I can play online matches and still figure out ways to unlock this art. Cool. All right, our third feature that I would love to see added to Fatal Fury City of the Wolves actually has to do with online matches. Right now, you can queue up for ranked matches. You can queue up for casual matches. You can find a room and get a lobby with some people. But all of this stuff pretty much has to do with the conventional styles of play. You may not know this, but folks, if you actually go to offline modes, you can do a special versus. And what they've done is they've actually done a special part of the game where you can do... You can do 2-lane battles. If you don't know what 2-lane battles are, most Fatal Fury systems were old school games trying to figure out like 3D fighting. You could stand on different planes and switch. And that's really cool. Now, just kind of like my situation with how I play this game, I kind of talked about it when we were talking about different ways to unlock art in this game, is like when I log on, I love this game and I want to be able to like explore and maybe fool around with other parts of the game, but right now I have to find the only way to do online lane switch battles is through room matches. And sure, I could go on to Discord, I could find somebody, I could go to a local and find maybe somebody to talk about it with. But I think what would be maybe beneficial is if they had a queue, like a ranked match queue or a casual match queue for lane switch battles. They've also talked about adding ring outs to this game, and I don't know if that would be I don't know if they would be adding ring outs as a separate type of game or if they would be adding it to the lane switch, the 2-lane battles. But it'd be cool to like see a leaderboard for that. It'd be cool to queue in and try to jump in and get like a rank with lane battles. I think it's really cool that they've added this to the game. I love regular matches. I'm probably going to be spending most of my time there, but it does seem like kind of a lot to even try it out. I can play with somebody at my house. I can communicate with somebody in Discord, but yeah, I really want to be able to queue up and just try it out. I think that would be really cool. So yeah. All right, guys, we've talked about our first 3 things. Now we're on our 4th feature I think Fatal Fury needs inside the game, and it has to do with the ranked match queue. This is the mode of the game that I play the most. I probably play training mode and ranked match the most in this game, and yeah, let's talk about it. When you queue up for ranked matches, it takes you to this screen. You can just search for a ranked match, or you can jump into training mode and like wait in a training room while you queue up. But my issue is actually with our battle settings. When you click battle settings, it lets you pick your character, lets you pick a couple of different things. But when it comes down to stage or music, this is one of the most annoying things I've said since day one. What you do is you go ahead and pick which stage you want, and for your entire session, for your entire ranked session, that's going to be the only stage you see. Now, these stages are beautiful. I think they work really well. They have really good art direction. They have some cool, like, parallax scrolling situations going on, which is kind of like a old school gaming technique, I think. It's really cool. They look great. But yeah, if I'm like 20 minutes or a half hour into playing ranked matches, that Slum Battleground, that one I picked just now, that's gonna be the only stage I see. So the 4th thing I think that they should add is just like a different way to select your stage. Like, can we get a random? Can we get it so it changes the stage each time? This game actually has done a really good job and added at least one stage per character. So like, can I have a setting where the stage I see depends on my opponent? Like, if I fight a Terry, I'm on the Freight Express. Or if I fight Marco Rodriguez, I'm at Yuri Fitness Club. If I fight B. Jeanette, I want to be at the B port. Like, I think that seems like, I mean, I've never developed a game, but that seems like a no-brainer, right? We should be able to change, like the game should change the stage for us somehow, instead of having me to back all the way out of queue and change the stage. That's something I think Fatal Fury needs. It bugs me every time I queue up for ranks. And, yeah. All right, folks, the 5th feature that I think Fatal Fury desperately needs, and it's actually a feature that it already has, it just doesn't do it very well. We need better combo trials in this game. Folks, if you don't know what combo trials are, let me show you. Sometimes they're called missions in SNK games. They sometimes are called missions. But combo trials are something that you can... it's like the developers are trying to show you different ways to use the character. It's really helpful when you're a beginner, and it can be really a good way to introduce yourself to like trying out a new character. So if we jump in with Terry, we can see it lets us pick Terry, and it lets us pick which control stream we're doing, smart or arcade style. But folks, here's my biggest issue with this is that it only gives us 5 combos. to try. That's like really kind of bad. That's not good. We don't have enough combos here to like really learn what our character does or different ways to use our character. This doesn't have a combo that includes every move. And it just leaves a lot lacking, which is a shame because kind of old head fighting game players sometimes look at another game for SNK to be some of the best combo trials in any game, which is King of Fighters 13. That got released a while ago. Okay, they're kind of sunsetting KOF 15 now. I'm sure when this game is kind of in the end of its life, they'll be doing a KOF 16. But they've really kind of changed how they approach combo trials. This is really weak stuff, and yeah, I don't want to mince my words. They don't show you how to control, how to combo into every super because most characters have different frame data on every super. They don't show you how to deal with different situations. Like if I can go into training mode, training. Here we go. If I go into training mode's great because I can try a few things. I can be Terry.
No holding back.
Right. We can jump right in. And I can play around. And look, combo trials aren't going to show you every last way to use your character, but it should show you a lot. One game that I think about a lot that has really good combo trials is Street Fighter 6. I know because I've been playing like the last year Street Fighter 6, but yeah, this game doesn't have a combo that starts with a jump in, so you don't really know. It doesn't have, in training mode, you can turn off counter hit or not. Where's combo? Counter. So you can turn off counter hit or not, but it doesn't show you how to deal with this. So if you're kind of like new to fighting games, you're just going to have to figure it out on your own. These combos need to be treated differently, and each thing is a different situation. And so it's really important that the game should show you something about how to use each situation. That's a wild punish, but if we just get regular counter hit on, there we go. If we get regular counter hit with Terry's Burn Knuckle, your opponent does something crazy. They do that big pop-up. It'd be really cool if this game showed you at least one way to deal with this instead of you having to figure it out. So yeah, another game that has so Street Fighter 6 I think does a really good job. It shows you how to start different combos that you can use in several different situations. Did you just get a drive impact? Did you just get a crouching light? They'll show you different situations that you might encounter in a real match and show you different combos you might use in those situations. Another game that has a really good combo situation is Guilty Gear Strive. There's a whole I wrote it down because it's actually pretty unique, but they have something called the Combo Maker mode. And me as a player, I can submit different combos like I can submit different combos off of different things. I'm getting a little distracted and I can't talk at the same time. But like in Guilty Gear Strive, if I was playing Nagoriyuki, that was the character I really liked, and I got like a standing heavy attack, I could put in my favorite combo that I learned as I was playing, and I could submit it to the game. And the game would save that combo, and it could share it with other people that were looking for Nagoriyuki combos. It's really unique, and this game has a really kind of free-flowing combo situation. I think that would be perfect for this game. Yeah. Anyway, I'm getting a little lost in the sauce, and we need to start talking about our sixth thing. But yeah, this game needs better combo trials. That's what we're talking about now. The sixth feature that I think Fatal Fury desperately needs. And again, this is another one where it actually has this in the game already. It's just really mediocre, and I think Fatal Fury needs to do a better job. But it needs a much better tutorial. Let's jump in and take a look at what this tutorial does, what it has, what it doesn't. On the whole, this isn't the worst tutorial I've ever seen. It shows you most of the things. It has a beginner level tutorial and a basic and an expert level tutorial, and I think that that's pretty cool. But I need to show you guys this tutorial right here. It's in the expert mode, and it shows you different defensive options. And when you go start to look at high-level play, something that really can change the tide of a match, something that can really separate the really great players from the legendary Wolves, is the ability to use these defensive mechanics. So they could be really important, even though you might not see them or use them very much at lower ranked matches. But yeah, they can be really important. So let's go ahead and take a look what it says about these defensive mechanics. It's loading. You guys are going to watch me do this tutorial really quick. But the first thing it's going to have us do is something called Just Defend, which is really important. Just Defend is really cool. It helps you cool down. 2, 1. And it looks like that. It's okay, so it shows me what it looks like when I get it right. The next one it's going to be doing is, and we're on number 2 now, is Guard Cancel. I got to make sure I do this right. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. Here we go. But it shows us what it looks like when we do a Guard Cancel. That's not right. Hold on. We're doing it too fast. There we go. Guard Cancel. And the third one is Hyper Defense. And these are all very different. Okay, we missed it. These are all very different defensive mechanics, but they only just show us what it looks like. Let's see if I can get Hyper Defense really quick. I think a game that really needs to... This game... When the other hit lands. Okay. This game could be a lot better if it shows you how to use these mechanics. You guys can see that maybe I need to work on my Hyper Defense a little bit. But let's see one more time. This needs to show you how to use these mechanics. One game that has a really... There we go. One game that has a really, really good tutorial that not only shows you what the mechanics look like when they happen, but also different situations to use each one and really breaks it down for you is Dragon Ball FighterZ. Folks, if you played Dragon Ball FighterZ when it first came out, it had a kind of a bare bones tutorial, much like the one here that I'm saying isn't good enough. And so you might be saying like, wow, Jester, maybe you don't know what you're talking about. But no, I do know what I'm talking about. About 2 seasons into Dragon Ball FighterZ, they added something called the Boot Camp. The Boot Camp was a special like lobby. In every lobby, there was a little guy that took you to the boot camp. And it introduced you to a couple of different ways to train. One was kind of an arcade mode that kind of worked like the Tournament of Power, which was fun. I liked it a lot. But it also had a different way to do tutorials. Instead of having just kind of one person break down each of the game mechanics, they had a different person show you 10 different uses for the same game mechanic. So I think I remember Piccolo taught you blocking. He said, okay, so you need to block, but then you need to block high-low. But then a different tutorial was like, let's go and practice against highs and lows, and you don't know which one's coming. And then they even went so far as to say, like, Piccolo gave you advice to say, like, hey, the overheads are usually a little slower in this game. So if you hold down back, that's going to let you block the lows, which are usually faster. And then at least you can try and react to the slower things, which, again, in that game are usually the overheads. Excuse me. I think it's a really good thing. And then I think Frieza taught you all about projectiles. He said this is all the different ways to use projectiles. I think Android 18 taught you how to trade your different novel ways to trade your character, because it was a tag game, so it wanted you to have different ways to trade out your point character. I think maybe Vegeta talked about how to use Z-Change, which was like a new mechanic that they added in where you could kind of change your character on the fly in a mid-combo. And all this stuff was like really good and really important, but I think it really taught you how to play the game. It didn't show you what the things looked like, it really taught you how to play the game. And this game needs that. This game has tons of mechanics. Like I mentioned, that Just Defend, the Guard Cancel, and the Hyper Defense are all really important things. But if you looked at the tutorial, you might not know that they're all that important. and you might not understand how to use them. I still don't know how to use them all that well, and I know I want to learn how to use them better. I wish this game had some way to kind of explicitly teach that and all the other game mechanics in this game. So yeah, the tutorial needs to be better to bring in, to help like onboard new players. I think this game might struggle to have players join this game and play it for the long run. There's a lot of other really good video games out there competing for people's time. And if people join and don't know how to play, they're probably going to go play something else. So let's SNK, come on, what are we doing? Let's teach people actually how to play this game. And again, I think a really good picture of what that looks like is the boot camp in Dragon Ball FighterZ. All right, guys, the last thing I needed to talk about, the last feature that I think this game really needs is some sort of bonus to get people to log in every day. Maybe that looks like a battle pass. Maybe that looks like daily quests. Maybe it looks like earning some sort of currency. You know what? I don't know. I don't have a perfect answer for what it needs to look like, but it needs something like that. I played a lot of Street Fighter 6. They have daily challenges. You can earn some sort of reward that you can like spend that like reward currency on different things. They also separately have a battle pass, so you can unlock cool stuff. Well, I mean, arguably cool stuff. I don't think it's perfect in Street Fighter 6, but Street Fighter 6 is doing stuff. They have a battle pass there where you can spend a little extra money and it rewards you for playing the game. Like, this game's cool. I know my biggest motivation for this is my my rank. I play fighting games a lot, and rank is important to me. I in Street Fighter, I worked up to Masters. That was a really big deal for me. I got a second character up to Master rank. Really cool. I don't know what I'm going to do now with Street Fighter, but I know if I log back in, there's other stuff there. I can unlock costumes. I can play and I can unlock more artwork. I can hit my daily quests and I can get some currency to spend on stuff later. This game needs something like that. You can see, okay, guys, I'm a C1. Okay, I'm working on it. All right, but yeah, earlier in my video, I talked about how it would be really cool to unlock art that's not necessarily associated with my character. Like, I want to know Rock's story, but I really just want to play as Terry. I want to play a lot of ranked matches as Terry. That's kind of like why I bought this game. I'm pressing the wrong buttons. Hold on. There we go. I'm playing as Terry, so I've unlocked Terry's stuff. Okay. I think it's in here somewhere. Oh, Episodes of Southtown is the same thing. I've played through Episodes of Southtown, and I unlocked some cool Terry stuff, but I'm not going to be able to see other people's stuff. Maybe the daily quests could give us some like a way to unlock more of the artwork. It's in Showcase, I think. But yeah, maybe it could be ways to unlock the artwork. Maybe SNK could make more costumes. SNK's games usually do not have alternate costumes. It was kind of a big deal. Excuse me. It's kind of a big deal that they added Terry Bogard's classic costume for this game, because they really don't. No other character has an alternate costume right now. Every other character just has the one, and most SNK games go through their whole life like that. I think, like, look, maybe releasing some sort of battle pass to give us a texture on an edit, so like a different, maybe a different pattern. I haven't unlocked all the patterns. Maybe like a pattern special for unlocking some battle passes. Maybe whole new costumes. Maybe in-game art. Maybe different win poses at the end of your matches. I don't know. I think there's a lot of different ways they could do it, but I think, like I said, I think this game might struggle in the long run retaining players. And I think one way to retain players is to have something for kind of like casual fans to like log in, earn something as they play, and make sure that like the matches online aren't just populated with like the hungry wolves. It kind of needs to be for everybody, for the long term, for the like the health of the game. I think it needs, yeah, some sort of battle pass or some sort of daily quest or something to get people invested in logging in a little bit every day. Yeah. Cool. So folks, if you're watching at home, thank you so much for watching my 7 different features that I think Fatal Fury City of the Wolves desperately needs. Maybe I got it wrong. Maybe you've got a good idea. Please let me know in the comments. Did I say something that you actually vibed with? Go ahead and tell me you thought it was a good idea in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe, because I'm definitely going to be playing a lot of Fatal Fury City of the Wolves on my YouTube channel, and I don't want you to miss a thing. Also check me out on TikTok, because I'm putting out clips of just, like, I don't know, hype moments, both for me and my opponents in Fatal Fury City of the Wolves and some of the other fighting games I play too. So check me out there, and make sure to follow me on Twitch, because folks, Twitch is where I film all of my content. You can come through, you can say hi, we can get some matches even. The best way to do that is to follow me on Twitch and say hi while I'm filming. Anyway, folks, if you're watching on YouTube, have a good rest of your night, and if you catch me out there in some fighting game between now and my next video, make sure you give me everything you got.